It's handy having the full screen view.
So you have a Model 3, right?
Yeah, long range.
Okay, cool. So we got a friend from Australia here. We're gonna go on our first FSD beta drive for him. So here's how it works. You just give it a destination. Take me to the Palace of Fine Arts.
Nice handy pedestrian and dog in the way to start.
Yeah. So, okay, there's our destination. And then now all we do is turn it on.
And it even waits politely for the pedestrian again.
Yeah, not running over people's important.
Very.
And we're off.
That is incredible. Even just there, I don't understand how anyone doubts this at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of right in front of everyone's face.
Like, obviously coming from the old release, this is just mind-blowing to me, but...
Check it out, it's waiting to turn left. This biker's blue, because it was waiting to see what the biker did.
It even identifies the car to give way to well before the intersection.
So now it's waiting for this guy. So now it's waiting for this
the
car.
Pedestrians back there, even, and the guy's like 30 feet away.
Alright, now it's waiting for this guy and this guy. Alright. Finally.
It's exactly what a human would have done.
You might have been a little more impatient, but pretty
Maybe.
much, yeah. Okay, here we got a broken traffic light.
That's an interesting test.
I'm not sure if it'll be able to figure this out. I might have to help it a
Bit of
little.
a tap.
Yeah. It looks like it is... Oh, cool.
That's impressive. Like, it's being cautious, but it didn't even confuse the other drivers much.
It handled it perfectly.
Look at that lane positioning as well. That is just perfect.
Yeah. Broken traffic light, no problem.
You guys are giving me total FOMO. Why don't we have
It's
this?
awesome. The old autopilots suck compared to this. I remember confirming all the traffic lights on this street. What a pain in the ass. I mean, this thing will just drive me around everywhere I want to go in San Francisco. Traffic, whatever. And
it's hard streets too. It's not like it's low traffic.
Oh yeah. Oh god, looks like all the traffic lights are broken.
Yeah, they have been in town most of the day.
Shit.
Oh, it's not on this end of town because it's the parade tomorrow on Folsom Street, but that's like way over there.
Well, that kind of makes testing FSD beta a little more difficult, but
it can it saw that guy through the car.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I can see the people on the sidewalk.
I mean, that's super important, obviously, for avoiding hitting pedestrians, but...
Right, obviously. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't even see these people, you know? So now I know there's a lot of people here.
I'm impressed that Hardware 3 can actually track that many things. I mean, it's a fast computer, but that's incredible, and there must be like 50 things that's tracking. You know, moving objects.
Yeah, it's got pretty impressive capabilities, no doubt.
It's come a long way, like even in the last year.
Yeah, it's just crazy, the rate of improvement.
The intersection model is fantastic. Yeah, I guess it's going to get a bit nervous with the traffic light flashing.
Yeah, this is unfortunate.
It doesn't take much of a hint, though. I mean, what could it possibly do, realistically?
Yeah, I mean, I just I wish the traffic lights were working. It'd be a little bit faster.
They're working 2 blocks up.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Hopefully they get fixed.
Yeah, something's always broken.
I mean, it's definitely unusual. Usually the traffic lights here work, so
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen something like this before.
Could be anything. Has it started to read signs yet? Like, that's going to be challenging. Like, no left turn between a particular time.
Yeah, it doesn't really read that kind of stuff, I don't think.
We'll probably have to eventually, but it'll be interesting.
I'm sure it will.
Like, the higher res cameras might be interesting. I can't say I've actually looked at whether you can read text on...
Oh, they can read text for sure. There's no doubt about it. They're reading some text. But, you know, the hard part isn't reading the text. It's understanding what it's trying to say.
Yeah. And there's infinite variations.
Yeah, so you might just have to put stuff like that in the map data or something.
Yeah. Hope it doesn't change. But then, I mean, the other thing about the map data, of course, is eventually it'll just come from the fleet, you would imagine.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And you can have people remotely classifying it.
Mm-hmm.
It's still mind-blowing. Like, even with the traffic lights needing to be confirmed, it's still mind-blowing.
Well, it doesn't need to be confirmed, but sometimes it just needs, you know, sometimes it thinks it's a red light when it's blinking.
Yeah.
So it just stops.
Needs a bit of encouragement.
Yeah. But you saw, you know, the first time it figured out what it was.
Yeah. That was actually very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I would have struggled in an intersection. But, I mean, the Chuck Cook's left, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
I think they've pretty much got rid of all of those in Australia. Like, it's an unprotected right for us, but it's damn dangerous.
Yeah, we'll see if we can find any here.
I mean, they must have done that.
Okay, great. We got working traffic lights again.
Finally.
Perfect.
So you don't have to confirm for lane changes anymore?
Nope.
That's nice.
Oh yeah, that was annoying.
I'm sick of doing that.
Yeah, even just having to put your hand on the wheel before it'll do it. Or navigate on autopilot.
This isn't scary at all. This is almost natural now.
It's very good. It's almost ready to be released to everybody. Like, they're less than 3 months away, so...
Yeah.
I mean, people... Oh, God, now it's broken again. People have a lot of complaints, but, you know...
I think
people just... Their standards are always rising, you know, so...
Yeah.
It gets better, then people find something new to complain about, you know, so... I think, like... Yeah, people don't really appreciate how production ready it's getting.
For sure. I mean, people just don't understand the nature of technology development in the end. And I mean, what they've achieved already is just phenomenal. And if you're complaining about the last 2%, I mean, the way people complain, they imagine it can't ever be fixed. And they try and convince themselves that it can't. I mean, some of the stuff that Dan O'Dowd says.
Yeah.
I mean, it's... Look, obviously the guy's a lunatic, but you've seen his website, yeah? The what does he call himself? The most gifted programmer ever to exist.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
Totally delusional. What a loser.
It is comedic though.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just a giant joke.
Okay.
It's even picking up crosswalks.
Well, yeah, of course.
It's even modeled a little lip.
It's waiting for the scooter guy.
Yeah.
See that? And then now that the scooter's crossed, they'll go.
Guy's too eager.
Okay, here we are, our first destination, which we arrived at painstakingly, but with 0 takeovers.
Not a single takeover, that's incredible. How can anybody doubt this?
I mean, yeah, it already works for most drives. There's a Mustang Mach-E over there. Okay, now let's go give it this. The street's pretty tough. It's got a lot of pedestrians, so...
I've seen a few of your ones with pedestrians, like down near under the Golden Gate.
Oh yeah, we can go there. We can try that.
Yeah. I don't have a heap of time, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, you can just let me know how much time you have.
I got about 15 minutes. I got to get back to Palo Alto and then back up to the airport.
Nice.
It's 18-hour flight home. It's just torture. Yeah, don't get a strike.
There's another Mustang Mach-E, Model 3. There's a ton of EVs here.
The Ioniq 5 has started to turn up in Australia finally.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
Unfortunately, because Australia's emission standards haven't been improved, a lot of car companies are dumping old, really polluting cars on Australia.
So check this out. There's a car kind of blocking its view, so it's being very cautious.
They've really improved that, like the visibility model. Do you think they'll actually change the wide angle on the front cameras?
There's some indications that they might be improving the viewing angle, but
I saw they had that thing strapped on it the other day to test.
Yeah, so we'll see it next week, but in my experience, it's pretty good. Like, it's able to handle pretty much everything.
It just has to be a bit more cautious on its way out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if it can put its nose in like it does with Chuck's videos, then you know, if that works, that's going to be the 99% case.
Yeah, and you can always just, you know, turn right if you don't have good visibility.
Yeah, for sure.
There's rarely just one way to get somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, this feels so close to production ready.
Yeah, I mean, production ready doesn't mean it has to be perfect. It just has to be good enough that, like, it's not just a pain in the ass to use.
Yeah.
You know, so autopilot's not perfect. This isn't perfect, but this is better than autopilot for sure.
Oh, it's
safer in many ways. It can handle a lot of things that autopilot can't handle.
Turning for a start.
Yeah. So, okay, now I'm gonna push cancel on the destination. All right, now this is a fun street. So check it out. We got a car stopped here. We got this guy coming.
Sit there and wait. Go around. Wow.
See how the car slowed a little bit?
Yeah.
So that it could go around.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's normal.
That is incredible.
All right, now we got a 4-way stop.
I mean, it's almost human in its behavior.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably more comfortable driving than me. Okay, so now we got this guy. He kind of went, even though we started moving.
Waiting with the bicycle. That's interesting.
Yeah, waiting a little bit too much for the bicycle. It's kind of stuck in the middle of the road now. Okay.
It doesn't know which way it's pointing now.
Okay,
that's interesting. Got a little bit confused.
Yeah, I think it thought the bike was going to cross our path or something, but
I mean, honestly, it's better to be cautious than...
Okay, so it went around that truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I could have just hit the accelerator pedal there, which is what I normally would have done if, you know, sometimes I'm just kind of like, okay.
Impatient, yeah. But to your point,
sometimes I'm like, okay, let me see if it's going to figure it out itself.
Yeah.
But that's not a good thing to do. You know, you shouldn't be blocking traffic or whatever. You should just hit the accelerator pedal and get to continue.
But if that's the most that you have to do, that's hardly a bad thing. I mean, it's kind of like a partnership between MSD and the driver.
And you know what? They get that data back.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a person crossing. Now there's this person parking. There's a bus coming. Boom.
Because you think about it, it sees a lot more than a human does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a human wouldn't be responding to all of those different scenarios, and yet it can see and build all of that into its perception model. It's demonstrably safer than a human already, I would say.
Yeah, alright, so look at this. There's a car in our lane.
In the middle. It's waiting for that guy. I like the blue highlighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it says I'm waiting for this guy.
So you can see what it's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Pedestrians everywhere. Look at all of the people it's modeling.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people here.
I don't understand how Dan O'Dowd could have made that video.
Well, he made the video because it's so good. He's worried.
There's no way that he could possibly
Okay, so check this out. Now it's trying to go. There's this car coming out. Look at all the people. And it's able to look at all these people and say, okay, none of them are coming in our path. Then we got another stop car. Boom.
Wow.
Like it's nothing.
That's incredible. I know people that are much worse drivers than this.
Take me to the Walt Disney Family Museum. Alright, you got 9 more minutes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, alright, we'll go one more place and then I'll take you back.
I'll just get an Uber for when you drop me off, it's fine.
I can drop you off. Self-drive you off. Alright. See how it gave that person extra room? It even kind of went on to the other side of the road a little bit. Okay, that was unnecessary braking. Probably because of that person.
A bit of nervousness is better than doing something dangerous, though.
Right. Yeah, agreed.
And I guess, you know, from a legal and PR perspective, they've got to be cautious.
Of course. Alright, back to our broken traffic lights.
We'll blame that on the city. The thing is, though, human drivers don't really know what to do in this scenario either, which is why people sort of end up halfway through the intersection beeping at each other.
True. Okay, let's see. Is it going to go?
It's just giving way. Yeah. That's a really hard one for it.
I don't think it's that hard, but the tricky thing is you want to be able to, like, not think that a normal red light is a blinking red light.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're just going to randomly go on a red light, which is not desirable. So it's better to lean a little bit on the side of thinking it's a red light.
Yeah.
it's kind of a tough thing. Okay, red light versus blinking red light.
There's a really interesting edge case in Australia with traffic lights on the existing autopilot, because Australian traffic lights come in 2 columns together. So because it's obviously trained on the American traffic
Look at
lights,
this
which
lane
is just one
change.
column. Yeah, that's incredible. It like it flicks. So we've got like a green light and a red turn arrow next to each other, so it flickers between them. So it'll go to an intersection and then throw the brake on because it thinks it's suddenly gone to red.
God.
It's a bit scary. No matter how much we tweet Elon, but no response.
I know they don't seem to be focused on the international stuff as much.
Yeah.
But once you guys get this software, it's gonna just be incredible.
I was excited in their simulator because it has a traffic light that looks like ours. So they've clearly thought of it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
That was interesting.
That was a little hard.
What I was thinking about there.
I think it just saw the people crossing the crosswalk, and it likes to give a little extra room when there's people crossing. Then when they get out of the way, it'll kind of move up.
I'm sure in a couple of releases they're going to look at the data and back off a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, they just want to be extra cautious.
For sure. It's completely understandable.
Because, there can be a margin of error. So let's say, it was off by a few feet or something, then it doesn't, end up in the crosswalk.
I mean, better to put the brakes on a bit hard than to hit a person. So, like, every time.
Yeah, and they've been scaling that back over time to be better and better. It used to be even worse than that, if you could believe it. Anytime a person walked out, it would just slam on the brakes. It was like, give you a headache. Because there's so many people in San Francisco, it's like, oh my God. Now it's a little bit better, but it still does stuff like that sometimes.
But I mean, it's got to be ready in case somebody just randomly walks out in front.
Right. Which people do here.
What's interesting is that it seems to have started building an assumption of the orientation of a person. So to figure out if they got like their back to a road or whether they're about to start walking out.
Right. Of course, it has to.
The projection of
to be able to predict them. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're turning left here. The one traffic light that works, luckily.
It's an interesting corner too. It's like not a 90-degree turn.
No, it's a very weird intersection.
You ever clipped the curb?
No. Not here.
I mean, it can already see where the edge is. You can see
Yeah.
what it does.
Yeah, you can see it knows that, okay, there's a little bit of a break here.
Yeah.
And here's where I'm going. And you can see that it can see the curb.
Yeah. It can even see the crosswalk, just. I mean, it says something that even though cameras are like relatively low resolution at the moment, it can still see a surprising amount.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty workable sensor suite. A lot of people cast doubt, but it can do pretty much all driving without any issues for me.
Yeah.
So, the issues that I see are not like, oh, the sensor suite wasn't good enough. It's like, the decision making wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the sensor suite. I think people tend to overly focus on hardware rather than software because they can understand hardware, but they can't understand how the internals of software improve.
Yeah. And that seems to be the consistent thing, that people assume that it's static when it's not anything of the sort, right? It continually improves, and it's already improved so much.
Yeah, they don't understand how, as amazing as the software is, it's still relatively primitive compared to what it will be.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to forget that Hardware 3 is, 4 years old now? And that can still clearly keep up with the current models. It'd be interesting to see if Hardware 4 is released next week.
Yeah, that'll be interesting for sure.
Some LiDAR unit mounted on the vehicle up there.
No, that's just an ad.
It's an ad, right? Yeah.
We might see. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Waymo and Cruise out here. They like to do a lot of the same test routes that I do.
They're probably following you.
Yeah, they're probably watching my videos and saying, "Shit, we got to make sure we work there too."
This is seriously amazing.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I agree. That's what I tell people all the time.
Do you mind if I get a picture of the screen?
Of course, you can take whatever pictures or videos you want.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask.
I mean, yeah, it's just funny. People are just like, oh, it's not good. Like, who else can do this? with cameras. Nobody.
There's nobody even close in the market. And I don't think that even could be anybody close anytime soon in the market. Like for
I mean, there's like Mobileye and people working on stuff, but it's not actually in a real car yet.
But that's not just camera though, they use LiDAR, don't
they? So check this out, it knows it has to wait for these people.
And it's obviously using the pillar camera.
It's creeping ahead gently.
Wow.
And you can see like all these angles, all these hills, everything. It's like, it doesn't have any problem, you know?
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It is so close. That is so ridiculously close. I am so excited.
Well, it's not that close. But it's very good. Like, yeah, you can already take... Like, with this version, I've had multiple days without a takeover. And I use this for every drive. I didn't do any manual driving. I didn't have any takeovers. I even drove from like LA to San Diego, which is like a 2-hour drive. And then from LA to here, which is a 5-hour drive, 0 takeovers. Which is mostly highway, but you know, it can take you from your home to the highway, take you on the highway, take you off to charge, go to the supercharger, get back on the highway, take you to your destination, all while you just sit there.
People just aren't thinking,
look at that.
Wow, it's even tracking the bike. People don't understand
even someone going that fast.
This is going to change the world.
Yeah, it is going to change the world. People don't get it. People are very stupid, I've realized. They can't see something that's right in front of their face.
I just don't understand how anybody could doubt it. I mean, sure, there's things that can still be improved, but everything can be improved. But if it's safer than a human, that's the point in which you can, you can start the transition, right?
Yeah, I do think it's safer than a human supervised right now already.
Yeah. It's even got the velocity. It's even almost synced to the actual position of their legs.
Yeah. Roundabout.
It's doing very well with them. That was interesting in the very early videos, like just on, 18 months ago?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I think I saw one where it clipped the inside of the roundabout, but it's so much better now, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, I have seen it try and do things like that sometimes, and I've had to disengage, but I haven't seen that recently.
It saw that car further away than I did.
I know, it does see a lot of things that I can't see. So a lot of people are like, oh, the perception system isn't good enough. It's like, it sees a lot of things I don't see. Like, a lot of times I find out about stuff that's happening around me from just the screen. Oh, there's a person walking over there. Oh, okay. Or like, sometimes I can't see the traffic light because there's like a car in front, and it can see the traffic light.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like you don't need to do head checks anymore because you can rely on the fact that it can see things that you can't. That's why, I mean, I've always said it's kind of like a partnership between the human being and the vehicle, and it's going to be like that for a while.
Yeah. Okay,
but that's okay.
I'm going to give it this destination. This is where all the people are. Okay, so it looks like this person is stopped. See, they're giving the little hand motion.
It's probably not going to go around. It's a long way out. I'd be surprised if it crossed that line. And then it occasionally did, right? When they were a bit further in. But I've noticed in some of the videos the people have recorded that it'll go around the car.
This person's getting angry at me.
They could have gone around themselves.
Yeah, this person, I think it would have gone around, but it didn't think that there was enough room or enough visibility. They're kind of parked in the middle of the road. So.
If there's like a couple of feet, I've noticed, between the lines and the car, it'll go around from what I've seen. But if it's like right over, it's probably the right thing not to, particularly if it can't see.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually pretty good at going around things, as you saw earlier, but that's good. I mean, it's a little hard to tell sometimes. Is this a stop car that I need to go around, or is it just traffic?
Yeah.
Like you'll see the opposite thing where sometimes you're just in traffic and it's like, hey, let's go around everybody. It doesn't do that as much anymore, but what's obvious to us is not always obvious for computer vision or any, computer algorithm to figure out.
But look, in the end, if a human can see it and the cameras can pick it up, then they can train a model to do it. It's just a matter of time.
So watch how it handles the cyclist here. There's a car coming. Okay.
A little bit cautious. That's interesting.
Yeah. So it saw that there was a car coming, and so it slowed down because it said, okay, I want to go give this cyclist some extra room, but there's a car coming, So I can't do that. So I'm just going to slow down first.
Like, it's thinking faster than a human would.
All right, so watch this. Moves over a little.
Yeah.
And then moves back. Perfect.
It's not getting spooked by shadows like it used to.
Nope. And notice how it knows to slow down, even if the max speed is higher. It won't take the max speed if it doesn't think it's appropriate.
That's one of the biggest frustrations in the car pilot.
Oh my god, I can't even imagine when Australia gets this, because I feel like the government there isn't too,
they're actually pretty cool with it.
Yeah. So I feel like you guys will probably get this, you know, maybe within the next year or so. I think people are just going to be so blown away, because it's going to be so good by the time it gets to Australia. It's just going to be like, you know, just flipping the switch from autopilot. People are going to be like, holy shit,
because it's such a,
I cannot believe what this software is capable of.
So the group that's responsible for the approval of it in Australia is called iMove. So because I work for an insurance company, I went and spoke to them and talked about autonomous vehicle development. So, you know, from the discussions we had, the board of that group is actually quite ambitious in terms of what they want to do.
Yeah, maybe you can show them this video.
Yeah, I plan to. I mean, they're actually, they're older people, but they're actually pretty forward-looking. It sets up the corners so well, you can even see it taking the inside of the apex. Exactly what a human would do.
Well, a human might not always do the right thing.
Well, that's right. I mean, so far I can't fault this. I mean, other than a very slight amount of, you know, harsh braking, it's actually pretty damn good.
Right. And harsh braking is annoying, but it's better than crashing into things.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so check this out. We got a lot of bikers. We got somebody kind of in our way.
It's already seen them all.
So it's waiting for this car to move so that it has a little bit more room. Okay, now the bikers are moving. And now that they're out of the way, you can go.
That's incredible.
Way more courteous than a person would be.
Saw that line a bit late, but it'd be hard to see that with the cameras.
Yeah, it was just kind of making sure that it had enough room between the other car, I think.
Yeah. Still, it did fine there.
It was kind of just making it like a little bit, you know, kind of on the line, and then it said, oh shit, there's a car coming. Okay. A lot of bike.
That was interesting as the guy crossed over the line, and it braked and got out of the way.
Exactly.
This has got to be this, I mean, other than the self-driving component from a safety perspective, it's got to be the safest, like, AV system in the world. Easily.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that's great about it is you can put it in people's cars today and have it start preventing collisions.
That's going to save lives. I'd be surprised if it hadn't already.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I saw one video one guy posted today where another car came and drove right into his lane.
Yeah.
And the car just moved right out of the way before he could even react.
Was it one of yours with the guy in the black t-shirt at night in downtown? And the guy steps out from the curb.
Oh, yeah.
No lights, and it stops.
That stuff happens all the time. So you can see here, it's just coexisting with all these pedestrians, cyclists. It's driving on the wrong side of the road right now to give them extra room.
I'm gonna get a video of this. This is, so I remember you made a video of this a while ago. And this just blew my mind.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. Look, there's people running, there's people biking, people standing. It's able to predict all of their positions, their trajectories. Okay, so now look at this. There's another car coming.
And it doesn't know what... So it's actually waiting for them to get out of the way.
That's right. Because it didn't think there was enough room to go with all these people in this truck coming. So it waits for the truck.
Now it waits for them to get out of the way.
Yep. And gently...
Look at that.
Look at this.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Incredible is exactly what it is.
Is it model rollerblades yet?
Hey, no rollerblades yet.
It's actually got him moving at the right speed, though.
Yes.
That's the important part.
Exactly.
Hey, we only just got dogs. Like, we got that like 3 months ago in the model that we've got. Now, this is interesting.
Okay, we got
It's thinking about going around them. It is going around them. Look at that.
Yeah, that was a little... Could have waited maybe, but not a bad...
Yeah, I would have done
bad
something
plan.
Similar. I would have done something similar.
Yeah. Okay, so now, see, it was waiting at the crosswalk because it was thinking, oh, are these guys going to cross?
Moving on. It thinks the bicycle's going to move.
Oh, yeah, now it thinks the bike's going to move.
Is that the car wheel?
Okay, okay. Yeah. I think it's figuring it out. Okay, now the bike actually is moving. Okay, let me just give it a little acceleration. It was I think bikes, it's like, okay, this guy could really just take off, you know? Yeah. So it's a little bit extra cautious of that.
And that makes sense. It's waiting for these guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because there aren't any lines now, of course. It's got to think about where it can go. And they're behaving really unpredictably too.
They don't know what they're doing. They're not aware that any car's looking at them or whatever. Okay, cool.
Do you think we'll get reverse summoned at AI Day?
Yeah, I think we will. All right, so where do you want to get dropped off?
Anywhere you like. Just take me back to town if you can. Anywhere nearby. Okay. I'll just get an Uber from there.
Anywhere near where?
Just anywhere just where I can get an Uber, really.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to get down to Palo Alto, so it's all the same distance from here.
All right, let me
Whatever's easiest for you.
Okay, yeah, we'll just go to, maybe,
let's see. It didn't rain a lot this summer, huh? It's so dry. Like the reverse of a Tesla. 70s gas guzzler.
Okay, we'll just go back over here. Alright, we got a guy reversing.
You can see the lights now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it actually figured out that they were reversing.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, it's giving way to her. That makes sense.
Very good.
This is a really good spot to test the pedestrian model.
Yeah.
I can see why you use it.
Yeah, I come here a lot to test the pedestrian handling. There's a lot of people here.
That's perfect.
I mean, they love to come check out the view. I love to come just, go on FSD, just enjoy the beautiful scenery.
And that's going to be the thing. It's going to transform being in a car because you can actually enjoy what's around you rather than having to pay attention to the road. I mean, not now, but soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in a couple of years.
You can see it's going to come now. I mean, there can be no doubt that this is massive progress.
Yeah. They're going to do it for sure. And, I mean, the industry as a whole is just making incredible progress. Like, we have real driverless cars around, and
I see
they can achieve driverless with just computer vision.
And that's the amazing thing. Like, I mean, Waymo Cruise are interesting, but the sensor suite costs like $50,000.
Look at this. Look at how many people there are, how close.
It's incredible.
It's navigating.
It's showing your path between them too.
Yeah, and look at this, how it's gone to 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Even though the speed limit's 15.
Super cautious.
Yeah. Yeah, this is so good. Look at all these people, all these cyclists, all this unpredictability. The fact that the car has this, even when you're driving manually, it can predict everybody. It can project if you're going to hit anybody. Like,
some humans.
This is going to save so many lives and just add so much convenience, so much benefit.
And that's the tipping point, right? When you start to realize that this is actually causing less fatalities than equivalent humans would be, it's actually indefensible to prevent its release.
Yeah, it is. And people are going to see that. I think people are like, oh, are the regulators going to... It's like, the regulators are going to love it if it really works. If it really works, they're going to be all about it. This is like their dream. This is like how we can get to 0 people dying on the roads.
Sure. I mean, just for an economic context, I mean, a person dying costs the economy about $10 million in lost earnings.
So check this out. Like, the lighting's a little interesting here. There's like a little bit of glare, a little bit of,
dead solid
light coming through the trees. But yeah, no flickering, nothing. He's just waiting, going slow.
That's the thing though, right? When a computer's driving for you, it doesn't really matter that you're waiting.
Yeah.
Who cares, right?
I feel the same way. I just kind of like listen to music, enjoy.
It's a completely different experience to what driving's like normally, because this would be quite stressful if a human had to do it, but you can just kind of sit here and take your time.
I kind of want to make it do this left so I can show you the unprotected left. Oh my god. Oh, no, she's got to stop. Okay.
Now we've got a problem. It doesn't know what she's going to do now. And
hello?
What's she just standing there now? She doesn't understand how roads work.
She got tired.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It's a big hill.
Standing in the road though?
Alright, so here we got a lot of cyclists, we got a lot of cars.
It's interesting.
We got pedestrians. I see.
Modeled the pedestrians.
Yeah, I thought they were pedestrians at first. It couldn't see their bike, I guess.
Still saw them though, it doesn't really matter what it sees them as, right?
Right. Minor classification here. Okay, so that was not the smoothest, but it did it okay.
Got around the corner. It was safe, there was no one there. I mean, and that's the interesting thing. A lot of people criticize it for like minor things, but as long as it does it safely, it doesn't really matter. It's like they're trying to find something to criticize.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why they're letting people use it is that it's not perfect, right?
Yeah. Well, like the only way to make it perfect is by seeing all of the scenarios. Yeah,
so like they'll have triggers, for example. So they say when a detection flickers, upload us that. And they get the footage and they say, okay, why was this detection flickering? Is it because it was the thing or it wasn't the thing? And then they label it. Or if, for example, a pedestrian turns into a cyclist, they say, okay, I'll upload that. I don't have to push the button or anything. It automatically says, okay, it was flickering between a pedestrian and a cyclist. Which was it? And then they show the labelers and they go, oh, that was actually a cyclist. And then it improves the detection a little bit. And that's just how they got the detection to be superhuman good. I mean, we've been driving around. We haven't had one takeover, except for that car we decided to get around.
You chose to, though, yeah.
Yeah, like we
could have waited.
We could have waited and they would have moved eventually, but, you know, we decided to go around them. So, you know, and I kind of knew, even before I, like, took you on the ride, I was like, it'll probably be, like, zero takeover. But, you know, there might be, like, a few, you know, there could be something.
It's a choice, right? In the end, you know, you can let it sit there and be cautious, or you can decide to do it yourself. And
yeah, but, you know, I kind of expected that it would work, you know?
Yeah.
And it did work pretty well, so
I think you've become so accustomed to how awesome it is that, you know, I think I've got a completely different perception of this to you at this point. Like, you're just used to it.
Right, and, you know, I think people do get sort of, like, the honeymoon period ends at the beginning. They go, oh my god, this is amazing. Then you get used to it, right? You start to actually expect that your car can do it.
Yeah.
And then people start complaining. They're like, oh my god, I picked the wrong lane, or it was hard braking.
Finding random things to complain about. Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, complaining is important. Complaining is how you improve those things.
Sure, but from a point of positivity and growth, not from a, you know, just this is shit.
From an objective point of view, it's, like, incredible, you know? And anybody who says it's not good...
They're lying to themselves.
Well, they have no understanding of, like, how hard it is to drive with just computer vision. I mean, can you imagine somebody's like, all right, here's 8 1.2 megapixel cameras. Drive the car with this, you know? And they've actually done that.
That's why it's so mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And everybody said they couldn't do it, and yet here we are.
Yeah. Everyone said it was impossible.
Well, they proved them wrong pretty quick.
And like now people are still saying that driverless is impossible. Well, let's see about that.
Maybe they haven't tried it.
I mean, after this driving, like, it's not hard to imagine, like, this car being driverless here in San Francisco.
Yeah,
and being a robo-taxi. Like, why not? After, like, a couple years of refinement and just making sure it's super solid, it should work. I don't see why it couldn't.
That's probably a realistic timeline, I think. I mean, some people are saying never, or... Yeah. It's funny, because the insurance...
Well, you know, the first robo-taxis are just going to be, like, you get behind the wheel. Yeah. And you have to have a driver's license, and you can still correct.
Of course.
So like it'll be kind of like a car rent. Like if you think about just renting a car that has FSD, it'll be kind of like that, you know. And all you have to do is really get the car to go pick up the passenger driverlessly. Yeah. But it can do that at like 30 miles an hour, go in the slow lane, like be very cautious. And then once the person's in the car, it can be a little bit more like aggressive, trying to.
This is an interesting one. That's a really really interesting scenario.
Yeah.
The bike came out of the lane a bit, and then it saw the other vehicle coming the other way.
Yeah, it was trying to give the bike some extra room.
You very nearly got a strap in your tire there. It had a hook on the end of it.
Oh, really?
It was like this close.
Yeah, so yeah, it wanted to get over a little bit for the cyclist, but then it saw there was a truck coming the other way, so it had to abort that.
It made the right call though.
Yeah, and it also sounded an alarm.
Yeah.
So that's the it'll
It's like the panic alarm.
Yeah, it'll alert you if it's like oh shit, oh shit, so that you can maybe address the situation. But I said okay, it looks like it's got it.
That was really interesting. Like a human would struggle to see over their shoulder there, but it actually picked up the curb.
Oh yeah.
That's significant. I know drivers that would have gone straight through that, and if there was a car there, they would have just hit it.
Yeah, it's going to be great for people who are traveling. You know, someone comes here from Australia, the UK.
Yeah.
Thought that guy was crossing, but they weren't. It was just a curved road.
Again.
So these are the little things that are good to learn. Okay, so it did slow for that speed bump, which is good. It's not the best at speed bumps. It handles most of mine, but it's not 100%. Some people complain that it can't handle any of the speed bumps in their area.
Some people have had success with train lines now as well. I used to struggle with that a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is slowing down, sometimes just a little bit late.
Yeah. I can't wait for AI Day.
Yeah.
I just, I eat this stuff up.
Yeah, me too, and that's why it's so annoying being so far away and not having access to it, because this is what I live and breathe, and
I know.
we can't have it.
I cannot wait for the international expansion to start.
Neither can I. Me more than you, man.
Dude, like in the US, people have seen all the different versions. They're kind of like, okay, when like Australia and like Europe get it, they're gonna be like, holy shit, this is such a big improvement over autopilot. Like autopilot is like a joke compared to this. Yeah. It really is.
It was impressive at the time though, right? I mean,
it was incredible. I mean, I still remember my first time in autopilot, like, holy shit, I cannot believe this is possible.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing. I mean, when I got my 2018 Model 3, it couldn't even do auto lane change on city streets.
Yeah.
And now that very same car is running FSD beta today. That's just insane.
It's the really interesting thing about the upgradability of Tesla. Like, I mean, other than the fact that the software has advanced so much, the fact that you can do that at all, I mean, it's so far ahead of every other manufacturer. I mean, VW, you still have to take it to the service center and plug it in.
Yeah, pretty much everybody else, that's what you got to do.
Have you seen that picture of they were doing a recall for VW and they've got 100 of them lined up with 100 laptops plugged in?
Same with Ford. They're struggling to figure out software updates. I mean, they'll figure it out, but... Oh, look, there's a Rivian out there.
Yeah.
Orange one.
We don't even have them yet. They haven't done right-hand drive.
Yeah, that's a good EV.
That's one of the older X's. I just want mine.
I know, we're like right up there for an X delivery as well.
You'll totally get yours before I do. They haven't even started doing anywhere except the US and Canada yet.
Okay.
Like the UK will get it first, probably.
I think that it is trying to go because some of the cars are turning blue.
It's weird that so many of the lights are out. You'd think they'd do something.
I know, it's really weird. This isn't normally how it is here. Clearly there's some major traffic light failure somewhere.
Traffic light hacker.
The traffic light server got rebooted or something. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, we're really trying to get into this
Fair related event, maybe? It's Folsom Fair tomorrow, isn't it?
Oh.
No, they're just going to a bakery.
Must be really good bread.
Yeah, the city's going to be a nightmare tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
Full of naked people.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. You should see beta breakers. It's like this race, everyone's naked.
Oh, great. Doesn't sound very good for running. Like, regardless of gender, that's not going to work very well. I can probably get an Uber around here somewhere, can't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, just drop me off if you want.
Okay.
Awesome. This has been fantastic, man.
Yeah.
I cannot thank you enough.
Of course. Happy to give people rides. For some reason, the left, it's able to figure out.
Even with the lights flashing, yeah. And it definitely knows the lights are flashing because it's seeing them up in the model.
There we go.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, there was that person crossing. They kind of slowed us down a little bit. But... All right.
Yeah. It's the advantage of a Tesla, huh? Oops.
All right, man. It was good to meet you.
Thanks so much, man.
Yeah.
Much
Take
appreciated.
it easy.
You changed my life.
Hope you get FSD beta soon.
Take care, man.